find something that works for you, because like I always say, we are always unique personalities, unique individualities, and we don't really need to copy each other. Don't compare your children, don't compare your friends, don't compare amongst yourselves, your neighbors, your relatives. Just do whatever works for you. And I think that is the best way. And given the scenario we are all in, stop like scrutinizing everything, stop saying negative thing. Every time you say something negative which you might think doesn't impact you directly, those vibes does come back at you. Hello and welcome back. I know it's been quite a while, and I hope you're doing wonderfully well in this crazy, insane world. And still, we are, all at home, staying at home, working at home. So, I don't know about you, but if you have checked my last Instagram account, I shared a couple of days ago the pic of my desk, which is where I'm sitting right now. And because I've been sharing pics of this, I thought I should actually film one, use this as a backdrop in a setting. Now, as you can see, it's a very tiny desk, and but this is where I work. This is my desk, which is pretty much not shared. I think growing up, as kids, we always had our own desks to study at and things like that. But even as I, grew out of my teenage years and everything else, I think I'm still like sort of a academic in my heart, and I want to have my own desk where I can sit and read and do my stuff. And this desk is pretty small, as you can see. It's the tiniest and the smallest desk you can find in IKEA. And this is just the perfect nook to fit it in. And so I don't know if you can see the whole thing. So I have a TV right here, and this is the room I film in. This is my bedroom, but there's a small TV here, and just below the table there is a small nook. There's the cupboards and wardrobes here. So this is where it fits in, and this is where sorry, this is where I mostly will do a lot of reading and writing. I do spread it out in my couch and my dining table and the reading nook here, which I usually do my filming. But today I thought I wanted to do right here. So you get to see a little more of my life and what reality is. It shouldn't always be picture perfect. So yeah, but let's get started. Get yourself a cup of ice cold water, a cup of peach tea, coffee, anything that's your thing. And today we're going to talk about something to keep ourselves motivated. I don't know about you, but for me, I think I've shared a couple of times in a lot of videos that I am not necessarily a very positive person. I am not negative either, but I think generally it's something about work in progress for me. So I have to put in that extra effort, extra mile in me every day to make sure I feel positive. And yeah, so there are a couple of things that I do here and there. So I thought today I'll probably compile a list and then see if it works for you as well. So we're going to talk about top things you can do, simple things, no investment required, that you can do to ensure that you feel top of your mood, you feel great about life, you basically keep the wheel churning, keep yourself moving, know that things are fine for you, working for you. And yeah, I think we'll stop talking and yeah, we're going to start. So number one for me is to wake up to the same routine. Now I know it's very easily said than done. Having the same routine every day is a little bit difficult even for me, because some days I really want to wake up at 6 a.m. Some days I don't end up waking at 6 a.m. or I wake up because I have to do something else and my routine really falls off the track. But I have seen and I have noticed in the days where I am my best and I actually follow the routine, I feel great about myself. And what happens is I end up doing a lot more that day because I'm in such a positive mood. I can fit in a lot more and I can get a lot more done. So that is why I like getting up to the routine. Now I've shared my routine before, but generally to speak, it mostly is about starting with something inspirational. So I'll read something good, or I'll write my gratitude journal, which I've been doing for a while now, or I'll just listen to something. Could be good music, could be just scrolling through inspirational motivational quote board on my Pinterest, which I'll share the link below, or it just could be listening to a great YouTube video or a session just on TV. So it completely depends on my day, but usually it will start with something that gets me pumped up, and then I will do something that relaxes me also at the same time. So I'll make myself a cup of tea, I'll do like a 5 to 10 minutes meditation, something that's nice. And what these like couple of minutes is not even really much, but what happens is it really puts your mindset in a much more nicer space where everything seems much more pleasant. So the day goes great, you handle a lot more, you get a more done, and the fact that you're up before everyone else definitely is a pro, at least for me, because then things go as planned and not as how things seem to be. So that's number one. Number two for me is waking up to a clean room. And when I say like clean room, it's probably like waking up to a clean space, because let's say the first thing probably I do when I wake up is I'll go to the kitchen to get myself a glass of water or a cup of tea. In those situations, like, I really don't want to enter into the kitchen which is like nasty from last night's cooking. So I like to do not like a deep clean, but at least like a superficial clean where I don't feel awkward and I don't feel like my energy is running out when I get into the kitchen. You don't want to get in and be like, oh God, like, why did I come in right now, because you're in such a great mood. So I like to clean it up a little bit, and I try to tidy up the common spaces as much as I can. So if it's the living room, maybe the dining space and the kitchen, so whoever gets up doesn't like get up to a room full of knickknacks and things everywhere. It's very difficult because I have a small kid, but I try my best. So I'm not perfect. Some days it doesn't work, like everyone, and some days it just pays off. So that's number two. Number three, nourish yourself as soon as you wake up. That feeling of nourishment is so important to me. It could be simple thing like having a glass of just plain water. It could be a little bit of ice water. Sometimes it's just lemon water, a handful of almonds or cashews. Anything that makes you feel nourished inside out. I think it's a great way to start a day. So whatever your thing is, whether you soak raisins or almonds, or you like to have a cup of fresh fruit or tea or coffee, that when ingrained in your routine is just not a great feeling that you're also taking care of yourself and your body. It's also a great way to know that you are actually doing something that you completely believe in, which has in a longer run it will keep you healthy. Given the situation, we all need to have that good metabolism, good digestion, good immunity and strength at the same time. Number four, start your day with something that you enjoy. I have seen a lot of my friends started with good music. Sometimes I do it too, but for me, I really like a good dose of mostly it has to be like words for me. So I will just type in like motivational sessions or videos or something in YouTube, and I'll listen. There are lots of good ones. Sometimes I'll even pop in like a good old interview, like a podcast, and listen to it, and then just get going from there. I think for me there are two sides to it. One is listening to the content itself, and the second is the host who is either talking about it or sharing his or her experience. It's just amazing to see that somebody else is putting in that amount of effort, and the result that has been created out of that effort. So I think both of those are very, very nice and important to me. Getting a bit of fresh air has always been something about me. I always grew up in places where I could go into the grass, or I could go into a balcony and things like that. So I think it is something that is ingrained in me. So even now I have like tiny balconies, not like really huge space, but I like going out and getting a bit of fresh air. Now the advantage that I have is my entire apartment is, sure you've seen a lot of pics of like mango trees and things like that. So my entire house on all sides has all kinds of trees. So when you wake up, when you look out of the the windows, it's always a bunch of lush greenery, and it's lovely during this time of the monsoon, and it's raining and it's fresh and things like that. So I really like that, and I enjoy that as well. Plus, I think it gives you a little bit of that fresh punch of oxygen, a little bit of outside life, because we are barely going out these days, right? Have your breakfast. I am not a breakfast eater. I don't like waking up and piling up food. I somehow have never enjoyed it, but I think over the years now I've started feeling that if I have something in my tummy, I feel much more energized throughout the day, and I think my routine goes like well paced. So while I will not have like a proper breakfast like anybody or my even my family members, I sometimes will have like very light breakfast. It could be like some fresh fruits or yogurt. Sometimes it's like one idli. It's not that I'm trying to portion control or diet or anything. I mean, I really compensate, more than compensate, for the later meals, but I'm just not a person who eats a lot during my morning hours. I just can't. Next one is setting intention for the day. This is something I have done on and off, but I hear a lot of successful people talk about setting intentions for the day. So for me, it's like I'll write like 2 or 3 things that is very important for me to get done that day, and it could be a mix of my personal things I have to get done and a mix of like my office work, if it's like a work day, a weekday that I have to do. And I mean, I can have like a list of 20 things I have to do, but I'll just take top 2 or 3. And what happens is when I check that off, it's the most important part of the day that is done for me, like work wise, and that itself is a great accomplishment, a feeling of great accomplishment and success. And I feel like, oh great, the main part is done, so now I can take some time and get the rest of the things done and going. So okay, take breaks during work. I think taking breaks has always been important in every article that you read, every successful people that you meet, but also at the same time, and you have to ensure that you're not taking like too many breaks, because what happens every time you take a lot of breaks is you have to come back and reset yourself, and then you have to refocus and get into that momentum to get the work done. So maybe you can use, like, depending on how you work, like a 1-hour session and then you take a break. It could be a 30-minute session of working and then you take a break. For me, generally, I think I like to work. If I am really in the zone, I will not take a break, even if it's like a usual break time for me. So generally I take one short break session around 11 a.m. in the morning, and then I'll take at 4. It's around 10 to 15 minutes. Sometimes it'll be a light stretch, sometimes I'll have a cup of tea. So it really depends, but generally I do think that those break sessions are a really nice way to get something done. I also have started recently looking into something. So if I'm like taking a course or reading a new book, so I think the book that I'm reading right now is Grit by Angela Duckworth, and I really love the book. You'll sometimes stumble upon books that really like motivate you, and you really like reading it. It's a kind of book that I will stay up to finish off kind of scenario. So it's a really wonderful book if you're looking for something nice to read. And these days, apart from my cup of tea or glass of water, I spend like maybe 5-10 minutes reading a couple more pages because I'm really enjoying the read, and then I'll go back to my work again. Next one, exercise. I think I have started feeling this mad thing because like everybody else, I've been in home for almost like 4 months, and things are crazy. Like, I really want to go out, but I kind of we're all staying in, and I also like the fact that I'm staying in. So I'm in this flux where I'm not sure what I really want. Like, I enjoy staying at home, but I also want to go out once in a while. And some days I feel like, oh my god, like nothing's happening, and I just want to get something done and things like that. So in those days, exercises could be stretch, could be just a walk, could be just maybe going to the terrace, which really happens maybe once a week, like just to get some fresh air and things like that. Or sometimes even sitting in my balcony and taking my laptop with me and working there has been a wonderful thing, because the weather is really nice. It's not very sunny and all. Sometimes it's raining, and like I mentioned, I have a lot of trees around. It's lush green outside, so I really enjoy that as well. So I think exercise in any format, it doesn't have to be you huffing and puffing and being out of breath, and then you can't focus back on work. So do whatever you like, and it's a light-hearted thing, not like a full core exercise in between your work day. But if you're the kind of person who is self-employed or a freelancer, or you run your own business and you are in way more control of your time and your schedule, then maybe you can actually pop in a full workout and then go back to work, the regular work again. Keep positive quotes around you, or like bunch of positive people. But now the fact that we're not meeting people as much as we would love to, like people who really support us and get us going, I have replaced them with great quotes. I have a lot of great quotes around, as you can see, small snippets here and there, and I like looking at them and seeing them once in a while. But I also keep some of them in my my notebooks, or even in Pinterest and things like that, which I really think gives me that jump start, like mentally, like, oh, I feel mad, and then I read them and I'm like, what do I do next? So, and of course the quotes change all the time. So, if you're kind of person who likes to read, maybe you can keep a diary of your favorite quotes, or even take like screenshots with your phone. Or if you're the person who doesn't like to read, maybe you can just look up some quotes that you want to, that makes you feel great, just from the web or Pinterest or net. They're like so many possibilities right now. So yeah, create your corner. Now, this is my corner. That is why I wanted to bring you all in here and show, like, it doesn't have to be very lavish. It just has to be your own. And the reason this corner is so small is just because this is a corner that doesn't get encroached on. Everybody has their own space, own things set up, and own things doing, and this is my very little corner. I also have the chair where I usually used to film before. That is my reading nook, and it's very difficult to pan out the camera right there because the camera has to sit right in front of my face. So I just thought I wanted a little bit more space to even, I don't know, just to move around, move my hands. So you can see I can just move around my hands, and I still have enough space. So yeah, I think having that little bit of corner. So when I come and sit down here and just switch on this light, I know that I'm here to get something done. So it could be just a bit of reading, could be some writings, could be anything. But this is my workspace. So having your bit of space, whatever you are creating that space for, could be for relaxing, could be for reading, could be for the space that you come in and put your feet up and just put on some good music and then just relax and unwind for the day before your bedtime routine. So yeah, I think everyone needs a little bit of space. Next one is take a short nap after your lunch. Now this is something I also discussed, I think, in one of my last videos, and I picked it up in one of the I think one of the videos from Rujita Divakar, and I've talked about it. This is something I don't do on a regular basis, but I've noticed when I am able to do and not like fall asleep for the longest period of time, I see that I can sometimes feel a little bit refreshed. Now I think the problem is, when I'm tired and I am trying to take that 20 minutes of nap, sometimes it's very difficult to get out of the nap. But I think 20 minutes is the mark. If I'm not up by then, God, then I'm gone. Like I'll probably sleep off, and I really don't want to sleep off, so I'm very, very conscious. So some days if I feel that I'm going to sleep off, I probably won't even take the nap. But I think if you're the kind of person who has the luxury of time, or who you can manage your time a little bit and work around, I think it's a wonderful thing to do. Read something interesting. Now the reason I bring up reading is, I think it's the cheapest way for all of us right now to get into, because you don't have to go outside, you don't need to buy anything, you don't need to you basically don't need anything, and all of us probably have like some sort of internet connection, either a proper internet connection, or you have via 4G via phone or anything like that, where you can read something interesting. So I think instead of going on platforms that sap your energy off, like for me it's like Facebook or something, you're constantly looking at pictures of how beautiful everybody's life is, and it looks like, God, am I the one who's not doing anything? Or everybody's like belching out cookies and biscuits and handis of biryanis, and I am not doing that, and I don't want to do that. So things like that. You don't want to go to a platform where you're comparing yourself and it's sapping off your energy. You want to go into a platform where you feel nourished, where you feel like alive, and where I think the platform that inspires you. So for me, it could be like Pinterest. It could be like Medium, like reading articles on Medium. I absolutely love that. Or it could be the New York Times, could be the Atlantic, could be things like that that gives you that extra boost of energy. So I think just find your thing, and once in a while maybe you could be taking your break, it could be your end of the day when you finish your work and you're ready to start your home routine, you can take that bit of 10 minutes to read something nice, or even before you go to bed. I think it's a great way for us to enrich in our lives in a very small way without spending anything, doing anything more. And there are so many lovely blogs and websites and articles and newspapers these days that you really need to walk to the library, or in fact like buy books or do anything if you're kind of a reader who can read multiple things and have interest in a lot of things as well. So yeah, or you can obviously buy a book or a Kindle version, or even get them delivered, whatever you like. But reading, I think with reading, I have always felt that it gives you, I think reading always calms you down. Reading also encourages you, nourishes you. And the fact that you can always find a writer whom you like, I think is the best part of reading. So where's that book of mine? Hold on. Like this one, I this has been with me for like I don't even know how many years, like 3 years, 4 years. I just can't finish it. I can't even read like half of it. Like, it's just me, it doesn't work. But then there are other books, like hundreds of books I like to finish off, and I really like reading them and things like that. So I think if you don't like a book, don't just shun reading. It's probably the fact that you haven't met the right author or the right kind of books that you like to read. So just explore. If you're new to reading or you're trying to read and you haven't been a very successful reader but you want to inculcate that habit, I think just read different things, different authors, different genre, different kind of books to see which one goes for you. You could be somebody who enjoys a crime thriller. You don't have to read something very serious. Or you could be a kind of a person who is more academic minded and wants to read something serious and not something frivolous. I mean, it's completely on you, but any kind of reading is always wonderful. Challenge yourself. Challenging yourself is very important, I think, given the current scenario, because we are all somewhere complaining right now that the world, the life has changed completely. We can't go out, we can't meet our friends, we are not socializing even with our extended families. The planned vacations are all gone. There is no way we can go out, God knows till when. We are at home, we are not even going out and meeting our colleagues at work. So it definitely has psychologically sort of like a plunge where the social interaction has gone down a lot. Now, no matter how much you Zoom call or WhatsApping or FaceTiming or anything, it doesn't create the same impact as it is to sit with someone over a cup of tea, coffee or beer and just talk your heart out. So I think challenging yourself in the sense that you pick up something, could be a hobby, could be something that you're trying to do that allows you to focus your energy into something else, so you don't feel that negative vibes or the fact that you are stuck in home for so long and things like that. I have started something, not started something, I mean, I have intentions to start something, and I wanted to learn crochet for a really long time. My mom does wonderful crochets and knittings, and I've never done that, but I always wanted to. So I got myself a couple of crochet needles and wools, and I mean, I just sat for 1 hour one day with my mom, and then I didn't. So but I think no matter how busy our lives are, the fact that we can sit with ourselves for a couple of minutes or even hours to do something we like and challenge ourselves is a good way to keep our minds refreshed also at the same time. So yeah, just pick up a book, pick up needles to crochet, pick up a new game, learn crossword, or start a YouTube channel. This is the wonderful place to challenge yourself, because there's so much to do, so much to read, so much to figure out, and it takes a lot of time. So if you're the kind of person who's like bored, like what do I do, and also probably the fact that don't go for something that is very easy to you, then it doesn't probably challenge you as much. So let's say if you're like a very good cook and I can just cook and everybody's gonna watch, well, you can start a YouTube channel on cooking. The challenge will probably come with the editorials and how you edit and how you set up and things like that. But I think if you can choose a subject that you're like halfway there and you're trying to learn also at the same time, I think that's more challenging. But hey, you're your own boss, decide what you want to do. You don't want to pick up a challenge so difficult that you don't end up doing it. So maybe start with something basic and then notch it up. Embrace change. What else can we do at this point of time, right? I mean, this is very philosophical to say like embrace change, because embrace the crazy haircut that my dad did, because hey, can't complain right now. Don't want to go to a parlor and get my haircut and then have the risk of being exposed. So completely fine with this haircut, with the crazy cut, with hairs everywhere. I am embracing change. I'm embracing the fact that I'm going to sit here for the next probably 6 months or 1 year and do my work, and that's okay. Probably not go out, probably have to do cleaning up the dishes and sweeping and mopping and cooking and kids online classes. There is list of galore things to do. So just embrace change and be okay with it. The more you complain, the more irritated you feel, and you're not complaining to everybody like anybody else. It all comes back at you. So every time you go to cook, you're like, I hate cooking, I hate cooking, I hate cooking. Like really, first you burn your dishes, probably now you have to do it again because you can't order, or you end up eating like Maggi or ramen. The other thing obviously is the fact that more you hate it, like you don't like being in the kitchen. Now doesn't matter, your gender or where you stay or how you stay. We all have to pitch in at this point of time in our life to get together as a family to get things done. Or maybe you stay alone, you have to do everything on your own. Whatever it is, we have to embrace the change. So embrace change, whether it's a personal life, your social life, or it's your career. Just be okay with the things that are happening, and it's always better if you're prepped for it, then you don't complain when things go wrong. Call a friend. You still feel that you really have been penting up all your emotions and you are really not feeling nice. Yeah, I mean, just call up your friend. We all have our 3am friends, but if you're not lucky enough, or your friend, you're in a different time zone or things like that, it's always good to call up somebody whom you can talk to and trust to. Kind of person whom you don't call, and the next thing you know, they're talking to 5 other people and telling, oh, she called me at 12 o'clock last night and this is what's going on with her life. You do not need people like that in your life, trust me. So you want to have like rock solid set of friends with whom you can talk to. And I think it's nice to just have a deeper conversation. I'm the kind of person who likes deeper conversation. I'm really not like a person who likes to have 100 people around me. I'd rather have like 5 and be very good friends with those 5. So yeah, get the conversation going and see how comfortable you feel in talking or disclosing the emotions that you're going through. But because if you have all these pent up emotions in you, a great way is also to journal, because sometimes we might not be very comfortable talking about the emotions to others as well. So use a mix and match. Use a mix and match and do whatever works for you. This is the fun one. Watch your favorite show. And I think favorite shows change, right? I mean, don't get stuck on the fact that I will always watch Friends, or I will always watch whatever you watch, Lucifer, or things like that. So I think just find out your favorite shows or something that makes you feel nice. It could be a documentary, it could be your favorite YouTuber, it could be anybody. Curl up in your chair, get yourself something nice to drink, snacks to nibble on, and just watch your favorite show. I mean, don't keep a lot of things to do after that, because you want to relax and then go to bed relaxed, because that's how you'll wake up refreshed probably next day. Okay, the other one could be watch your create a wind down routine. Like seriously, like by the time I think the biggest problem right now, what it is, that there is no difference between your work life and your personal life, and what that has created is your routines have like merged, and it's all mixed up. There is no routine right now, because you don't know when your work life ends and when your home life begins. So I think create a wind down routine. So if you get off work, let's say whenever, 5 p.m, 6 p.m, 7 p.m, 8 p.m, after that, create like a 10-minute routine that creates that divide. So you can shut down your laptop and then take a shower and then go for a walk, or just play with your kid, or just listen to some music. That is the divider. And then you start with your home routine, home life, home stuff. So I think creating that wind down routine is very, very important. Make yourself good snacks, help somebody out, and create a dinner for that night. Do like a co-hosting of dinner. So everybody, it's sort of like a potluck, but like everybody cooks a little bit of a dish and then you all eat together. So everything is not on you. Experiment with dinners. Now, I am bored of eating the same food every day. I think I'll do another video where I'll show like the different things that I'm trying out, and then show you the ingredients I got myself, because we all eat. I know, at least for me, like there are certain things which are like pretty set routine for me of the things that I cook, and there are things that I'll do once in a while, and there are things that I rarely do. So it's a mix of 3, and then I'll figure out what to do. But right now I'm trying things out of my comfort zone, just to bring in a little bit of variety for myself and also for everybody that's eating my cooked food. I think that really helps. So find yourself the kind of cuisine you like. You don't have to be good at it, you don't have to be perfect at it, you don't have to be amazing at it, but just something different allows you to experiment and feel good about yourself. And it might or might not turn well, and that's okay. That's part of life, right? I mean, who knew we would be stuck in a at-home situation for so long? Like, nobody knew that. So we all evolve, we all change, and we all are learning right now. So you might as well learn a few nice dishes to cook or things to experiment with if you really like, or maybe find cheat meals that you can create your favorite meals in a much lesser time, easier way, and maybe some store-bought help. So now, this one is very important for me, is plan some quiet time. It's very important for me, but it rarely happens. And when it doesn't happen, I'm grumpy, I'm moody, and I'm just not there. So, for me, even if it's 10 minutes at the end of the night, I really like to sit alone, like I mean alone, in the couch with lights mostly out, with a little bit of dim light somewhere, reading a good book with a background of either good music, or I'll have like some good shows going on, but it's not in a very loud volume or things like that. So I really enjoy that quiet time. So I think it's especially important if you're an introvert. So you can see what fits your mood or your personality and create something very small around it and see if that works for you. Once in a while, enjoy music or enjoy a good show and blast it out. Everybody's out, I will like put on the music really loud and just let it be. There's nobody to tell me, oh, lower the volume down, or this music isn't good. Like, I just listen to whatever I want to at that point of time, and then I'll get myself glass of, mostly like probably my guilty thing, probably like a glass of Coke or half frozen thumbs up or things like that. Sometimes even like iced tea, and then I'll just sit and drink, just quietly listen to that blasted of music, and then I'll just go do my own things that I'm supposed to do. But that time for myself, I can just listen to what I want to listen to and blast music off, is like, it's literally heaven. And if you're the kind of person who's single or you stay alone, oh god, you lucky people, just enjoy that time and do whatever you want to do. Because when you have family and lots of people you are with, you kind of have to look after everybody and their choices. You really can't do like, oh, I want to listen to like music at volume of 30 or 50 whenever I want to. You can't. So yeah, if you're alone, this is it, this is your time, don't waste it, just do whatever you want to do. This is crazy, but yeah, clean up the house. You know why? Because when you have a cleaned up house, you really feel that freshness, that energy, the good vibes. Now, I know that sometimes we don't feel like it, especially if your mood is like meh mood and you really don't want to go cleaning with broom in hand. That's okay. Just take some time off, use any of the pointers above to get yourself relaxed. And when you're relaxed, then you can absolutely go ahead and clean the house. Or if you're really good person, then just everything has its own place, and every time you use it, go put it back in that place, which means you literally never have to clean up. But that doesn't work for me. It's just a wonderful thing to say. So I do have to clean up a lot. Yeah, I still clean up because the next day it makes me feel great. Or I like to get up in the morning and make the bed, even though I'm still here the entire day. And that is precisely why I need it clean, because can't work out of a dumpster every day, because it affects your mood, and I don't want to be there. Sleep early, sleep more, and yeah, I think when we go to bed early, when we have that routine, when though we are at home, we can get up late and things like that, if you have the same time to go to bed, it will make you feel way more nicer when you wake up in the morning, because your head is refreshed, you have had your full like 8 hours or 9 hours of sleep, and you can do a lot more. Now I know, you can compare yourself and see, like, try to go to bed whenever you want to go to bed, and then try going to bed for 1 week at exactly at the same time, and see the difference in your aptitude, your projection of life and things like that. You will notice that you do way more better when you have that routine. So go to bed, sleep a little more. This time isn't coming back again. The time that you are in home, and you can go to bed a little bit early and probably get up a little bit later as well. So yeah, just sleep a lot more, and then the pangs of problems or depressions or things like that, not feeling well or feeling too exhausted, probably will not be there anymore. Be you. Of all the points, just see whatever feels like you, and only then go ahead and do it. Sometimes we need to do things even when we are not very sure about it, but then if that doesn't feel like you after a couple of days, don't do it. Find something that works for you, because like I always say, we are always unique personalities, unique individualities, and we don't really need to copy each other. Don't compare your children, don't compare your friends, don't compare amongst yourselves, your neighbors, your relatives. Just do whatever works for you, and I think that is the best way. And given the scenario we are all in, stop like scrutinizing everything, stop saying negative thing. Every time you say something negative which you might think doesn't impact you directly, those vibes does come back at you. So just be very positive, appreciate everyone, appreciate somebody else's success, somebody doing well. Maybe you're having a tough time, and that's okay, your time will come too. So yeah, that's all. And if you enjoy this kind of content, you definitely want to check out my Instagram account. I'll leave the account link in the description box below. So cheer up. I hope you all have a good week and you're doing great, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.